Yeah, button.
Welcome back to Exalted Essence, Crimes of Nature. Last time, our crew decided to investigate the goings-on of the Riftwood Trading Company, the local branch of the guild in the region, and its possible assistance to the malevolent folks that they have been dealing with. Um, they portaged Unbreakable Onyx, the boat, over to the region. Um, At first using the standard methods, but before realizing, what if we just drag it? And then they just dragged it. And now there's a canal. And now that there is new infrastructure, things are good and kind of terrifying and confusing, but good. Um, Angler spanning all seas got some assistance from Sybil in finishing the designs upon the artifact gauntlets that Yang gave to him. The crew did a lot of investigation and footwork into examining the local guild and going over past connections and using new and putting things into context, and came to the conclusion that the Riftward Trading Company is in a financially awkward position. It is at the usual head of the debt pyramid one would expect from leveraging out the usual sort of shit that the guild does, but it itself is up to its neck in debt to financiers in Nexus, and is mostly diverting all of its profits to there, and several of its local businesses have not been very profitable, but they have not been overtly screwing things over to make it work. They are willing to let some things collapse and willing to let some things not. Upon approach, several things were discovered via interrogation and investigation. A dead body that had been struck with a unknown slash quasi-known supernatural illness called the Green Sun Wasting was found, pointing towards the location or at least involvement of your friend. Obsidian Shield and Old Man went into the center of the city and decided to place Mahjong for stakes and hustled a lot of the financially more well-off and exploitative members of the guild's hierarchy out of a lot of their money and redistributed that down to the bottom of the pyramid to, destabilize it while also having a lot of fun. Thousand Miracles Yang did a lot of investigation of where's your crime at? You feel like you should have more crime in here. Are you sure this is all the crime that you have? And found some strange weak links and ties here and there. Milan walked in as the cover of somebody fabulously rich and wealthy from the realm who is here. I'm a Nigerian prince and I'm interested in giving you an offer, kind of thing. Handing out pottery from Clay Bottom at
Recent unrest on the Blessed Isle has placed my vast fortune.
Yes. Either bestowing genuinely extremely valuable pottery from Clay Bottom to the merchantry, or, forgeries to the jackasses. And let's see, there's that. And then Angler and Yang decided to take a trip up to the swamp and check in on the Excelsi outcast family. As it had been a while, they needed to be filled in on a fair number of things and consulted for advice. Yang got into a friendly, fist fight slash brawl slash now we're wrestling an alligator collectively. It was a lot of fun. While Angler and Fuyuko discussed the actual mechanics of, okay, so we're going to be destabilizing this region. Is that okay? Can you help with what's next? What can we do to assist? And also, Angler got into at first ill-advised, and it turns out pretty fucking good performance was made race with the Swamp Father, as technically Angler won, but that's mostly because the Swamp Father was not expecting Angler to give an entire fucking ass of effort in it. And with that, I believe we have caught up to the current point of the narrative. Let me double check the calendar. The current date is the 16th of Ascending Wood, and the crew has their information assembled as it currently stands, and can plan the next moves. Oh yes, Absolute Repose also massively undercut a lot of the local economy and knitted together a lot of sympathizers via simple preacher work and also free shoes, just free really good quality shoes.
Log gang.
Clog gang, clog gang.
Playing the log game over here.
So, the guild generally knows we're in the area, though, correct?
Oh yeah,
Probably.
at minimum they are absolutely aware of Milan and Repose because they have been very deliberate about their presence, and they are aware of Obsidian and Old Man as, doing a gambling thing, but maybe it is unclear how much they know about you in connection, but they are absolutely aware of your presence, pretty much.
For what it's worth, they're probably way more aware of Obsidian
Yes.
being a well-known merchant in the area.
Yes.
And
Like-
since they probably heard our exploits around the region because they are the guild, they
They
know.
probably know the rest of you are
Yeah,
connected.
they know several Dragon Blood are in the area, and that's probably enough concern that they're probably going to send a delegation to talk to some of us soon.
Yes.
So
is-
we need to be ready for them when they come to have either a good cover story or to start bartering with them right then and there of, okay, here's the deal.
Mhm.
So what do we want to do when they show up?
Kill them.
I think each of us has different answers to that question.
Yep.
That's why we're doing this now.
Okay, Milan's answer to this question is I'm literally buying stuff. Partially buying stuff for my new territory, partially to start undermining the bottom of this debt pyramid.
Mhm.
Obsidian would look you square in the face and say, Angler, they're a group of people that sell harmful substances to undermined and less fortunate citizens.
Yeah, they're scum. I get it. But do we have the resources to deal with them right now, or do we leave them to be dealt with after the fact? Like, we're checking them out. What does everyone want to do?
Find and punch green?
Blood. Well, not blood, really. Maybe blood.
What, explain, please.
This is probably a conversation happening on boat at this point.
Yes.
So let me ship.
Look, I
Vote meeting
operate
is underway.
entirely on reflex.
Yeah, and look, if I've learned anything, it was around here that we got jumped by the swamp people, and all of you yelled at me when I wanted to kill them then and there. Because they had a reason for what they're doing. There could be a lot of people, the guild, have a reason for what they're doing. It could be reprehensible for doing it, but I want to know what our plan is when these people show up so we don't just start killing indiscriminately and then not have a plan of attack for all the other people in the area.
I mean, you're probably gonna jump one of them and then press them for details, right? Is the real answer.
You can do that without jumping them. You just have
Well,
to.
a little jumping. Just a little bit of jumping.
I don't even think we
I-
need to jump them. They're going to come to us.
And then we jump 'em.
Propose uncharacteristically raising of hand early and making any noise while someone else is speaking.
We all go silent and stare at Repose.
Right? We're moving the tiny Why are you looking at... Oh.
I have taken several chances before now to raise this point. And at each of those opportunities, those listening have shied away from addressing it. and it is understandable that one should do this on occasion, as it is a sensitive topic. Particularly when raised around young men of status who are establishing their footing in the world. However, if any among you find fundamentally that you cannot face this subject with comfort, then you have no business meddling in the affairs of human society. What do you want this place to be? What will you build here? Even if none of us sets down our home in this city and takes hold of the reins, begins to direct its course, our existence and our presence will influence what will become of these people. As is already being demonstrated, the people have arranged themselves in a manner that we all agree that we disapprove of. And so we are going to be rid of it. And the being rid of it is the easy part. Violence is simple.
The only thing I understand. Well, the
It
only
is
part of it I
after
understand.
that is done that the work must begin.
Has Obsidian has Repose heard of Obsidian's idea of the council?
Yeah, we were. Everyone was there for that. Or the pitch
Would-
about forming the alliance.
Yeah, would propose this idea of first. Would again, sort of in a military-esque manner of speaking, when one person in power is removed, the vacuum is created. If we were to remove the guild without filling the vacuum, the town may be worse off than before we came. That is one aspect that we need to prepare for. And there's a bit of uneasiness in Obsidian's voice at this because, again, he does not like controlling other people's lives. It's not really his thing. So it's in the sense of he doesn't feel as though it should be him or anyone here per se, but someone that is a peer of the people that are here. And probably says this to some extent.
Who are the people here? We have to define that first.
Well, it's very rarely that any one group holds complete absolute control over their territory. There's going to be other factions and groups within, so maybe we should go to ground and find out who are the other movers and shakers beneath the guild.
Propose has laid out a surface and starts gradually sketching out the social networks that he has documented by way of Clog Gang small talk.
Mm-hmm.
Just starts laying it all out there. And after very thoroughly scribing it out. But of course, I've never been terribly inclined to the social arts. So this is all I have to show for a few days of making shoes.
Hey, Darren, I'd like to make a roll from all these merchants and people I've met selling me things. Is there an overlap of names between this and the social groups, just to get names to these groups? Names and identities.
Yeah. Roll me finesse embassy. With a 3 as your difficulty.
Yeah, these sound a bit familiar.
Yeah, you recognize a couple of these. These are subgroups of, like, associated trades that go together because their, financial fortunes go together, things like that.
Milan's
don't-
gonna like start making like little tiny notes on the diagram, like X out some people like no, they're heavily involved in the drug trade, not them.
Yeah. So you are basically
Hmm.
able to mark up a pretty vague and large scope, but, a rough estimate of who you think would be, like, absolutely categorically in or absolutely categorically out. And, Mhm.
I'd like to add an embassy plus force roll, and also cross-reference this with people that we scammed or seemed down on their luck
The people
from
you
the merchant
scammed
side.
and
things.
enriched with your
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, go right ahead with 2 dice stunt. So most of the people that Repose directly interacted with, you are probably not surprised to figure out, are people that were down on their luck. The ones lower on the chain, the direct laborers, the people up to their eyeballs in debt. They're the ones who, upon hearing, hey, free goods and services for the community, would immediately go, yeah, no, I need anything to cut costs right now. Those are most of the ones Repose that kind of worked with directly and got most information from and sympathy for. There are some people who, again, don't need it as much, but took advantage of it, and you can mark it off as like, no, that guy's an asshole, that guy's an asshole, that guy's an asshole. But you still have a pretty wide net of, I'd say probably at least 100 if it was a couple of days at the Exalt speed, of, like, people that you would trust you would trust at least to listen and not immediately snitch on you. Is the baseline level of trust you can establish.
Now, in all of this, there's still one more factor we need to address. Nexus owns much of their debt. If we start knocking heads and turning things over, Nexus is going to come collect.
Are they? Says about votes from across the boat.
That's actually something I was going to check in with Angler's information network. Do we have any contacts in that area, local crime leaders, gang members, whatever, that are, I'm not saying are benevolent, perhaps?
Nexus is all the way over there. Pointing
Sun
very precisely
Yeah.
to the east.
Sun kind of gestures over at Repose and nods as he's walking up. Nexus can be trusted to do one thing, and one thing only. What makes it money? How much money do you think it would cost to ship an army out here to stabilize a region and try to get trade back from 5 angry dragon-blooded?
Not very.
If all Nexus hears of these events is that the expedition of this company proved a failure, shrug.
Yeah, Guan just kind of shrugs along
Why wouldn't
with
they
it.
leave it at that?
Obsidian would then also like look at Milan and say, "You're Minister of Transport. When was the last time you heard of a Nexus trade ship coming into Grey Falls?"
That's not without a roll. Not very often.
So
Not unheard
Milan's,
of.
Milan's not going to respond and just lean down to the clay tablet and scratch out the Nexus tag.
Let's just say that when Nexus send boats in, they usually have to take a lot of precautions against could be any
There's
river
maybe a couple of
pirates.
barriers between
Mhm.
over there and over here.
So long as you don't make them personally feel like they have been humiliated on a scale at which that they are justified in projecting force across half the direction in the opposite direction of their usual influence of economic power, I think they're just going to call this a write-off.
Look,
This
I'm
isn't
sure-
Nexus's fault. This is the idiots that are out here.
they're just right over there, right? And Milan actually points north. They're just over there, right?
Takes your hand
Guan
and
just kind of
turns
stares
it
at
to the west.
Right. Sense of direction, sorcery, forgot. Milan, still no sense of direction.
Also, yeah, skeleton warriors are on the river.
Skeleton warriors.
Guan. Guan looks over the list of names from, a respectable distance. It's a pretty good start, especially for a couple of days.
Any names familiar?
I trust most of these. He walks in a little bit grabs a pen, swipes out a couple of names, not explaining why. The rest of these I would trust to be able to listen, but he thinks for a moment. Now, are you planning on getting these people angry enough to get armed and start removing obstacles? Or are you planning to make this enough of an irritation that Delos and his coterie will give up and leave on their own?
Personally, I'd prefer to avoid any unnecessary bloodshed.
Propose is going to give a very slow, sharp inhale that goes on for longer than you would expect.
Juan, carefully watching.
And then it stops, holds silent for a moment. For longer than expected, there is a pause after the breath, and then and he just begins speaking abruptly, and it's kind of as if you would expect there's just enough that there's like a discontinuity between the deep breath and the actually starting to talk. If our highest objective is the complete humiliation of the guild factor, so as to discredit his business in this region, and in turn lend credibility to whatever brought about his downfall, and begin, mumbling and starting to go ahead and throw some war dice.
Okay. I'll give you a 2-die stun for that lead in.
I will bank that die for later. Alright, 3 successes on a starter.
Alright, so angle of roll.
Strategizing.
Yeah, what is goal of roll?
So, goal of roll here is to just start thinking along the lines of, alright, if our end game is for the factor to lose all credibility, and for everyone who does get out of here to go away with just the news of, that's just the worst guy, make sure that everything that we do here comes back to, that guy fucked up. That guy made a mistake. He was just real bad at business.
So the first thing is, you would want to avoid any sort of... Well, how to put this? Violent uprising as the result and response to a triggering level of, like a trigger of, this guy was terrible at business enough to make people violent, angry, and mad and throw out? Sure. Preempting it by inciting riots without strong evidence is just going to be like, oh, people just got mad, and, that's business. That's the, union-busting logic of, oh, that's just the cost of doing business. People get mad sometimes. You need to have the writing on the wall first.
If I were to simply walk up to his door and denounce him for harboring an enemy of the world and proceed to excise him, this would remove him, but to those who he would keep company with back in his home city, they would see that as no fault of his own. That is simply
Yeah. That's
Obs-
what. Okay, and
Obsidian would cut in and just say, the uprising and riot would have to be a result specifically of his bad.
he must be provoked into making the
Exactly.
wrong move.
or you dig up a move that he's made and he's trying to hide from the rest of the world.
Yang, you said that you had a look at some of their books, right? And some of their ledgers.
Briefly, yes.
I don't know how in character to say this, but I do have a move that lets me interfere with a bureaucratic endeavor.
Yeah.
And so the idea I'm having is getting Milan into their books and start messing things up to send the higher ups into a panic. Make them think that, oh shit, the debt we owe is due now, and we
Oh,
need
God.
to
Oh, forfeit like a defaulter or something.
We need to leave.
Make them panic.
Make them
either-
panic and think that the debt is coming due with knives.
Not even that it's due now. It was due several months ago.
We probably captured a bunch of fairly recent, like, guild stamps and signets and so forth when we took on that slave boat. You could do some good forgeries with those.
If this is an in-character discussion, Guan is just beginning to smile in a way that can only be described as threatening.
Yeah, Milan's got that going as well.
Sybil slides up as well over to Yang. You know, there is the other opportunity that you can do with something like this, is that you can make him think that he's helping himself by helping you, and then you leave him holding the bag. Like, Sybil's like, so think of it this way. You think that he's hanging out with the green guy. We'll call him that for now.
I just don't like him.
Well, yeah, of course not. But the rest of you have been talking about that. But like, what if you're like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, no, we'll totally bail you out. We'll totally help with your debts and all this sort of things, and then you just kind of sort of leave after he gets what he needs done for you, and then you leave him out with his pants in the wind.
Wait, hold on. Didn't you say that their books really weren't hiding anything, were actually being very honest?
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
What if this guy's sending them some money away to Green? How would the Immaculates feel about that? About the guild funding in Anathema?
Well, the guild would certainly cut ties to not get their entire shit kicked in by the rest of the monastics. So just says
What if-
reflexively.
What if we just forged into one of the things a donation to your friend?
And all we just need to do is trigger an audit with the Immaculate Order around.
We do have the Green's correspondence. We could use some of that.
Well, alright, so I suppose this is as good a time as any in the timeline to fit in the busy work of transcribing the list out
hit
of
list.
Malfian into a more palatable dialect.
Yeah.
Because we do have that, and then we can cross-reference that with what assets does he have in this city.
Alright, I will not make that adventure roll. I will just say, base difficulty is 3 to get any information. The higher you get, the more clear and more actionable you will get it. It is a fortitude sagacity roll because you are literally just muscling through the ugh.
Why does this writing smell like barf?
It's all written in Comic Sans.
Not even Comic Sans, it's like Chiller, or like,
Papyrus.
yes.
In heavy metal band names.
Yes.
Oh,
The things that look like trees branches that just fell on the ground.
Just the worst.
Go ahead and expend that stunt die to boost this instead. There we go.
Alright,
numbers.
Pocket stunt dice?
7, Yeah,
Yeah,
when
if-
you receive a stunt, if you don't want to use it, you can just set the die aside for use later.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. I don't believe you can apply more than one stunt at once, though. So,
Yes.
so first of all is it is actually broken up quite handily into regions. So let me just double check my notes and cross-reference the map myself. A sec. Assembling it in the way that it is laid out kind of looks vaguely either chronological or order of operations or something. It's unclear what he got when and what is where. This may be a redraft or something like that. It's not clear if this is an order of importance, but there is certainly groupings of areas and goals. And the one most pressing that I will start with first is the Rift Road Trading Company. Delos immediately is called out as has been giving a portion of the precious metals from the mine have been shaved and counterfeited as part of the debt payments. Is one of the biggest pieces of blackmail that your friend has. Is just active fraud on debt payments to Nexus. Is not something you want Nexus to find out.
There you go. Here he has committed the highest crime against merchantdom. Nothing else on this list will matter to his peers.
We
Yes.
just need to find evidence in his writing to back this up.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, yeah, there's a small laundry list of other things, but that is literally at the top of the list. Is doing debt fraud to Nexus, and you get a pretty solid feeling that if your friend has ever actively brought this up or intends to, that's a pretty ironclad way of controlling everything Delos is doing. Just threatening to go public with that would be
Hey, hold
On-
on. We know that
Go
he is debasing things that he is using in payments, and we did just create that fake Jade vase.
yes, you
Yep.
I am now imagining. Sorry, but like the Nasir like bad ingots as well.
Ian Asir, yeah.
Never buy copper from this man.
Otherwise, there's a bunch of just petty, like, personal blackmail kind of stuff for a lot of the mid-level people. Some of them you've already shaken money out of, like infidelity, attempted hitman stuff, some successful hitman stuff in the background, other just petty personal blackmails of personal failings and vices that I guess if you wanted to use them, you could use them. Otherwise, extending outwards. There is, at this point, struck out entry for, where would it be? There's a struck out entry in Fallen River Valley for Veniscu for, like bureaucratic improprieties and things like that. Things that you're all already aware of now, and the system has collapsed, so several people there have just kind of had it literally struck through with a pen of just like, well, I can't use that anymore. Fallen River Valley is probably the second most populated list of sheer volume of names and blackmail, and again, it is mostly just the sort of things that you could control people by sheer fear of embarrassment or destruction of career by it coming out. There is just a lot of like, well, that sucks a lot on the list. There's a smattering of other people out in the Jade Orchid Prefecture, no one in real positions of power, just kind of useful side adjacent things, like a couple of people in the guard, a couple of people in, custodial duties, things like that. There's no one in the Trident River Valley. You're not sure, but if you had to guess, it would be he never got in while Bronze Axe was there for either respecting the space of the other people working or being told directly to fuck off. And then there is the bottom of the list, which is a more personal section of specific high-level names, and the Hearth is in it.
Ha! Hell yeah!
What does he think he has to,
It is, so let me go down the list here. Starting with Absolute Repose. Absolute Repose, fanatically tied to family, makes few compromises with religion, forced into position to pick whether to follow ideals with regards to Unconquered Sun, ideals with regards to ghosts, regards to faith, etc. There is a little aphorism written in the Old Realm that Absolute Rose can recognize as a twisting of a common Old Realm aphorism from the First Age of it's the idea is like the mountain will not bow to the wind, it will not break. But it is twisted into the silent wind makes even the mountain submit. Just the idea of, okay, yeah, sure, you're a rock, you don't bend, you don't follow pressure, until you do, at which point you explode. That is the angle written down there for Repose. Angler. I'm just gonna preemptively call for a Fortitude and, well, I suppose, Fortitude or Finesse Integrity, because the names of your family are on the list. That's literally all that's there. It's just a list of your family's names and considerations of just like, okay, yeah, they exist.
Yeah, he was fully expecting them to be on this list. You said Fortitude, Integrity?
Yep.
You okay?
The thing that is standing out to you as kind of unexpected is, yeah, you saw this coming and you are not phased at all. The thing that is mildly rattling but is also not bothering you is the second part, saying extreme insecurity regarding ability to feel like, air quotes, the good person, air quote, in the situation. Forced into a situation where morals are compromised and will fall like dead wood.
Interesting that they know that. Okay.
But it's a thing that you've been working on. I feel like a lot of these reports are going to end up being sort of like the whole Cell Saga thing of wait, they've been working on that just because of everything that happened in the Isles.
Yeah. This is probably, you're not sure what this dated list is, but it is very much a possibly has not accounted for character growth kind of list. Let's see. Next up would be Milan. There is just
society.
it literally says up front in Old Realm, what can't I use? And it just lists everything to do with Milan's. It is brutal. It's just straight up kind of taking enjoyment in writing it down in kind of feeling is naivete, extremely abusable family connections, can use any number of other people on the realm that hate you and your family, or like you and your family, to leverage you into doing damn near anything that I want without you even realizing that there's an external manipulator involved that may not be part of your family. Just kind of like, it is like probably 2 or 3 paragraphs of, man, if I want to break this person's spirit, I've got all kinds of options. And it is like, again, in a way that Milan would probably not be able to argue with. It's just like, yeah. If you're a jackass, yeah.
But is my horse on the list?
Actually, yes. There is a note of, takes great pride in horse bestowed personally by grandmother, possible emotional instability if killed.
Ooh.
Damn.
Like, again, I'm glossing
know.
over I'm glossing over the exacts because I didn't write down the exacts, but basically everything is just like, no, really, this guy has no actual moral qualms with anything to undermine and backstab and do awful things. Thousand Miracles Yang. First word is Iselsi. Full stop at the end of Iselsi. However, it also follows up with however, does not particularly care about own family attachments and has repressed own resentment and pain from upbringing into other methods of emotional expression. Very few knives to twist in this, however, would be easier to convince is best at being weapon to aim.
Does he have a dick? I'll punch it.
Like an excerpt is basically just will not bend to the pressures of the rest of the hearth. However, the same circumstances that cause that make him the easiest and most likely target to subvert as an active agent within. And then Obsidian Shield, again, very simple, is man of and in a way that is kind of impossible to translate exactly out of Malfian while keeping the same emotional tenor, but the same way that you would savor a steak is written out, a man of unbending principle. Just the kind of like, oh man kind of thing. Will not bend, will not break, will not listen to any sort of argument against. Assaulting principles is a fool's game, full stop. Either force into impossible situations, or frustrate to point of making ill-advised decisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then at the bottom of the list is Old Man. And Old Man is a much shorter list than anyone else. Old Man's entry is just less target for leverage against Hearth, more target for leverage against Executor. Observe, watch what happens, use to advantage as necessary.
Has this been updated since Old Man Exalted?
Probably not.
Unlikely.
Wait, shit, the old man got what he wanted? Ah, piss. I have nothing on this man.
Yeah, the closest thing, like, Old Man is just, I got nothing. And Obsidian is basically just kind of like, I got nothing, but also I know that I could make him do something stupid if I tried. Everybody else has a lot of arrows in the emotional blackmail quiver.
Milan is
After
an
a
entire
moment
page.
to rinse out mouth, rinse out eyes, rinse off hands, set fire to hands, douse hands. Usual post having to do that. Cleansing, set original note aside. Back into, whatever shared space we are keeping our documents in. Back to the files menu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there.
Interrogate farmer.
Well,
What do you know?
next time we encounter Green, I'd prefer not to give him a moment to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit him.
From this,
Yeah.
Cool.
We have one image of what he thinks of each of us. And if he were to see that any of these were not the case, over a great deal of time he may begin to doubt this appraisal and update his expectations of our behavior. However, for the sort of thing he seems to be, he would greatly prefer any excuse to believe he was right all along. That any apparent contradiction between his expectations and the world around him is an elaborate ruse that he alone possesses the insight to see through. This is bait. Tapping the list. So yeah, we have a list of bullet points of do this to drag him out of hiding to think he can do the move upon us.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which one of
Yep.
us is the most likely?
He
Well,
literally
What?
put in the notes that you are the most likely to flip.
All right, how do we pretend that I hate you, Call, suddenly?
well, it would have to be a very public thing to occur. We would have to get into some sort of altercation in a public space.
Well, and it would need to be him
Oh.
trying to use you as a weapon.
Or, Juan says, and trust that he's using some more manner of another to spy on you, and go do your thing in a way that indicates that you are beginning to act against the interests of your heart. Not in a way that actually understands it, but in a way that appears that way. Or perhaps he actually shrugs. Perhaps actively seek him out as a peer rather than an enemy, and put a good enough show on that, and his ego might be unable to resist that.
I have an idea. What if I pretend like I stormed out and went to go to the guild by myself to go just kill whoever's the highest up on the list?
You weren't. We were like middling around too much, and you're just like, why don't we just fucking kill them? Yeah, and bust out of the
Who
room.
would I probably be targeting if I was just trying to kill who was ever at the top of this particular
Delos.
hierarchy? Delos? Okay. I'll pretend I'm trying to do a hit on him.
Well, meanwhile, we could try and slip this knowledge we've gained in to do the cook the books plan.
It would serve as a pretty good distraction, Juan says.
My plan for the ensuing days was to continue laying the groundwork, examining the foundations of the society, and appropriately building up social. A little bit of further mumbling occurs there.
Well,
I see no reason to interrupt this. His concern with me is that he is baffled by the complexities of my way of life. Probably also in character, loud setting down of drink on somewhere.
Yeah, just yeah. And probably also having a rise. Like Repose would probably be cracking a smile at that. Just like, ha, of course you don't.
He will also likely feel more comfortable attempting to subvert any of you if I am very conspicuously not where you are.
Wouldn't he notice that as a
So-
warning? Like, he's not dumb enough to... Is he dumb enough?
It's not a matter of if he's dumb enough. It's a matter of whether or not he feels like he can make you a tool to make him feel right.
He's also probably getting very desperate.
He points.
We have
Sybil,
destroyed a lot of his plans already.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Sybil actually briefly slips over. Excuse me for a moment. I just want to double check something. Hey, Songbird, you notice something? That we're not on the list? Yeah. What, why wouldn't we? I don't know.
In the dumb way that Obsidian says stupid things. Maybe he just doesn't notice y'all.
I wouldn't expect him to notice me, but Sybil is not exactly subtle.
I mean, in what she does? No. In doing it in public places? Yeah?
Yeah, that took a while. Less than you think. It took a while.
what about any of the scratched off names? Is Sybil's name under any of those?
There's a quick review. No, this is all just people that he crossed out because they're either dead or he doesn't view them that they're any useful anymore.
Man is here with no context.
Hello.
There's a
Old
shifting
man
up.
exists without context. He is a being who has freed himself. of his
There's a shifting at
surroundings.
the top of the mast as old man kind of readjusts positioning.
I wiggle in, and I have formed myself.
It has mostly been various layers of strategy meeting and information gathering.
And
Excellent.
reviewing
Swamp plans.
reviewing Green's dossiers on us.
I see.
He's confused by you, if you were wondering.
Understandable. Most people are.
Yeah, everybody else had like a big old list of emotional blackmail or possible targets to make them break and, go, I'm the wrong one all along. Old man is just question mark? Don't use it against Karth, use as leverage against the sidereal. I'm going to have a roll for...
Well, next thing I want Milan to do is to go start making contacts with the people in town we've identified as being, if not on our side, sympathetic.
Okay.
People who we could prop up to replace rich man we want to punch, whose name I forgot again.
Delos.
Delos.
Wave 2 of charity work / social agitating. Set up knife sharpening booth.
Knife edge deathmatch.
There's a step aside of Guan and Sybil kind of briefly walking off and talking to each other in, deliberately a language you don't understand. Like, they cycle through a few before, getting to one that clearly no one is able to pick up on before Guan looks back over. So I have an idea. There are two circumstances. Either Obsidian is correct and he has not noticed us, at which point we are X Factors, at which we could be assistants in wherever you want. Or the other option. He looks at Sybil. Sybil. So like I mentioned, I've been interrogating a lot of the local demonic manifestations to figure out where they were coming from to try to narrow in on this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if that is echoed back. What if he's just afraid of invoking our names in case we could track that? What if he is that level of scared? Because he knows that I'm a sorcerer if I'm able to track him by his demons. So it is either that he doesn't know we're coming, or he does know we're coming and he's shitting his pants. Either one I'm cool with.
Good or gooder?
She nods. Something to keep in mind. She goes over to Yang for a quick second. Now, about that plan,
Uh-huh.
I have an idea.
Oh. Go on.
I have a stupid idea.
Okay, cool. Uh-huh.
I have an idea.
Obsidian's ears perk up.
There is a kind of look on her face of this is your chance. This is your chance to be the reasonable voice in the conversation to anyone listening. What if you go in trying to do a hit, and I go in trying to stop you, and you look like you bowl me over, and that makes you look impressive and like you are about to kick the place over, and he feels like he has no chance but to be visible.
Did he fall for that? He would fall for that. Okay. I'm up for some play wrestling.
All right.
Yang, use your new form of martial arts. That might be an explanation why you can beat her.
You mean shooting people?
I meant goose style.
Oh, yeah, no.
So the fun thing I didn't tell about you, I made Goose Style to actually be especially good at people using Goose Style, she says with a smile.
Oh, it's great in the mirror. Excellent.
Yeah, no, it's like a 7-3 in the mirror. It's fucked up.
Finally,
It's
the
a
Dan
7-3
mirror.
in the mirror match, meaning it's a 3-7 in the mirror
So we're just gonna
match.
have a really public, really visible goose mirror match in a square, and I'll monologue about how my teacher is bad and how I'm gonna succeed her, and then I'll punch you through a wall, and that will trick some nasty man to come abduct me.
Well, yeah, clearly, because that means you've turned evil, and now you need a new mentor to learn from.
If he's that stupid, then I'll. All right, yeah, sure. There's no way he's gonna fall for this.
Oh, probably not. It'll be funny either way, and if he doesn't fall for it, then we know how that works.
Worst case scenario, we'll get some good wrestling in, so whatever.
I mean, we could set this scene up very loudly of you going out of the base, and the Obsidian comes out and yells at you not to do anything stupid. And then Sybil comes out, and Obsidian says to Sybil, make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. Then this scene happens. Just make it very obvious.
Hold on, I have an idea.
Go on.
I'm going to assemble some firecrackers. And they're gonna spell "fuck you" when they are ignited, which seems like a very me thing to do.
Just a little logistics note to speak of on the side here. Are people in
He's
the
looking
city,
over at you.
Are people
letting
in the
you
city
speak
already
first.
aware of your wife's talents as a boxer?
Mm-hmm.
Just not needing to get bogged down in the details. Just doing a quick check
Yeah.
of hey, how known are you two here? Since that's
I am known as a merchant, and she is known as my bodyguard. He is known as a combatant of some skill and renown. We are not known as who we actually are, he says, gesturing to his forehead.
yeah, just getting in that reminder of hey, remember, either have limits or have disguises ready if you're going to.
Do we want to do this in his
Exceed
periphery so
limits.
he hears about this from people talking about it and not viewing it directly?
Gestures at you. This town is more or less his home base. Do you think he just doesn't have eyes everywhere?
Yeah, he could have security cameras everywhere. Security eyes.
What the hell's a camera?
Then meanwhile, me and Repose go off to do charity. It's knife sharpening time.
Alright, so as the lead into all that, we can set up round 2 of charity / agitation. So let's switch over.
So I figure at for this leg of things, the Grey Robes have had time to catch up and
Yes.
be present
They're
in
here.
the field.
Yeah, the crew of the Obsidian's crew and the Grey Shirts are assets you can tap for this.
So
Yeah.
going back into nice public place where free shoes had been distributed previously.
Oh, I just had a thought. Darren, this is a new session, right?
Yes.
I would like to use my Dragon Blood ability to give myself temporary followers of
Alright.
the people I've recently freed from their debts.
Yeah, that
I'm
works.
I'm going to continue to be renting local gossip contacts.
Mhm.
So I'm going to take a temporary local followers
You
as
got that retinue.
people we can leverage.
Mhm.
So back out to site where free shoes had occurred
Yep.
over some
so-
previous days and set up a small upright windmill with prayer wheel that is rotating about, and then underneath that, whetstone mounted to the whole apparatus and knife sharpening days.
Alright. Give me.
Knives sharpened, honed, mended, replaced.
Yeah, give me a finesse crafts roll with your gossip contacts as bonus dice.
No reason not to throw the excellency into that. And yes! Yes! Sharpen
Local-
everyone and everything!
Local Exalt takes the knees out from under local blacksmithing for like 3 goddamn months. Yeah, you are basically in a goddamn...
No. The moment anyone expresses concern relating to the local smiths, they're getting invited out here for lessons in the arts of steel from a champion of the earth. It's time for enrichment of local trades. It's time to share the mysteries.
Oh god, you're guild busting. Like, not guild as in the guild, but like trade guilds. You're handing out trade secrets without a license. Oh man, yeah, no, it is just very clear at this point that there are a lot of established, like, artisans and, guildmeisters that are extremely pissed at you,
Folks are
but
going to talk about how to be polite to Iron.
they are very much, like, not in any position where they can do anything aside from start filing active complaints.
What they can do is come over here and compare their notes and see which of their mysteries are good or not. They can step up their game. Get over here.
There are a couple who are clearly sending like one or two actually are humble enough to be like, all right, sure, fine, yeah, I'll learn from you. I will admit, yeah, no, Prince of the Earth is here. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to learn this. Sure, I'll take a hit to the bottom line for a couple of months in order to learn from the Master of Masters.
Prince of the Earth offers you the hammer. Do you accept?
Yes.
Passes you.
Yes.
Yes.
But there are a bunch more who very obviously are sending secondaries or are refusing. Yeah, again, not just mad, but mad that you are right and they have no justification to be mad. That does not make them look like the shitty ones. They're very protectionist trade union about this right now, and that's only benefiting them. And so they are loudly filing complaints with local guard and very much posting things like, if you go, they're like, one of the trade guild houses is like, you will be ejected from the guild house if you go learn from this person. You will only learn our techniques. You will only use our sanctioned techniques. And what this does is basically prompt a walkout of the word is escaping me, right? Apprentices. There's a walkout of apprentices just going, well, okay, I'll go to another.
We will
guild
throw
house
you out if you accept the mysteries of the earth. You will be welcome in the mysteries of the earth if you are thrown out of those assholes.
Yeah, no, it is extremely just like nobody wants to work anymore situation. Oh no.
Oh, hey, Darren, there's a lot of people who just walked out and are probably looking for something to do.
Sure are, Milan, there sure are.
What if we just make our own guild and we fill the power vacuum? But it's a guild of the people here, so.
Hey,
I mean,
who
lowercase
wants for
g guild.
another one of Milan's soul talks? What if I just give presentations and speeches to any who will listen?
Yeah, like, just give some oratory and rhetoric lessons while people are working on the knife stuff.
Let's talk about how Milan runs the ministry.
Oh god, alright, yeah,
Let's talk about division of labor.
Okay, if you have any charms for this, go ahead and use them. If not, this is a force finesse roll with your followers as bonus dice and a stun.
Ooh. Okay, so that's... Alright, so that is already 14. If I use the excellency, that takes it to 19, and I'm going to pocket that stunt.
Okay.
Oh!
Well,
Hey kids, you want to get radicalized?
yeah, as good friend of the show and chat just said, dual power, dual power, dual power. Yeah, Milan just starts kind of giving, at first, what looks like rhetoric lessons, harmless enough, and then shifts into, again, mostly harmless discussion of the structuring of a ministry in the Blessed Isle, not really all that applicable, sort of applicable, and then starts, extrapolating from that about the nature of power and how you manage things in a potentially unstable and broken system and how you make your own piece of it run, as healthily as you possibly can while working within the methods you can to adjust what you can either via legitimate means or sometimes you just kind of have to go outside of official channels, and what Milan says is something probably much more censored and insinuating but not stating the idea of just sometimes you go off the record, you go out and have you drink with people and something, and you don't go through official channels, and you really get to understand people, and you really get to what the problem is, and you just go outside of your usual way of doing things, and underneath it is very much like, yeah, no, like, if the official process is failing, you can go outside of the official process, whatever that means to you.
And when you help others, that creates a feedback loop, which in turn helps you.
Mm-hmm.
Wink, wink. Repose, there's an awful lot of pitchforks now being sharpened at your mill.
Yeah, there's
That's
a couple...
weird.
Actually, no, this is the swamp, so,
There's
I'm going to clarify this for exactly one person. No, this is not just a joke. There's a lot of machetes being sharpened because, hey, this is a swamp.
Yep.
So there's just a whole
Step
lot
1,
of
clogs. Step 2, machetes.
people. Yep.
Step 3,
Nice
here's your red
shoes.
flag.
Nice machetes. Now we just need a good theme song.
There's probably
What else
throughout
do
the
these people
sharpening
need to survive
and the
in the swamp?
discussions of metalworking, a lot of importance stressed on, okay, but alright, so first of all, just going to show you the limits of the art, and alright, here's this very perfected blade that you will never need a weapon this sharp. If you create a tool this sharp, you are in fact insulting the tool because nothing you do with it will be worth how finely you have just polished it. Are you about to use this to perform life-saving surgery? Then no, you do not need this clean of a tool. And there's just all throughout the lecturing and skill sharing portion of this, just putting a lot of focus on here is what is good enough and how to do that effectively so that you can then spend the rest of your day doing other things. Mm-hmm. All of you are better equipped to perform this care on your own time, with your own means. That is less busy work that is put upon your experts, who are then free to push their art to higher levels. And just, throw shade at all of these rent seekers of, hey, actually, in the lore, the ostentatious peasant, the antithesis of earthen virtue, is someone who gathers treasures of knowledge and skill and then expects to be paid for holding that knowledge rather than passing it on and putting it to use for society.
Building a foundation and then not letting anyone build on it without paying.
Yeah, and hey, look, there's Milan giving lectures on civic responsibility.
Yeah, even the people who are probably very clearly not the sort to think about this sort of thing in their normal day-to-day life, who have probably never had a sort of political awakening thought in their entire lives, or even the ones who aggressively avoid thinking about that sort of thing, because I don't like that kind of thought, are stopping and thinking and going, mechanically, you just rolled 11 successes. Everyone you are listening to is having a strong opinion about this. Most of them look like they're agreeing.
Perform the ultimate insult of showing some of the things people do to demonstrate knives that actually aren't very impressive in terms of the strength of the knife. They imply nothing. They're very easy.
Yup.
If you want to show off the strength of the knife, it kind of has to be destructive testing, because otherwise it's not being actually tested.
Yeah, if you are not threatening to break what you are testing, you don't know the situation in which it will truly break.
We're gonna test
Measure
strength
the
of your
quality
knife.
of a tool by how badly it can break and still be restored to use.
Would this be the moment to break the serenity with two
Yes.
goblins shouting at each other?
Yes, absolutely.
How would I even start this? Yang would probably be shouting something like, well, the fuck, while we were planning, we could just be killing him and be done with it. Why are we planning? Why don't we just go get him? We know him. Shouting just like, why are we sitting on our thumbs?
Yeah.
Generic stuff like that.
Just very, oh
this
look,
would be
here,
too
here
Obsidian, I
Yang
guess?
is losing his patience and getting loud about wanting to commit a
Well, I
crime.
sure am.
There's Yang
gonna
being
go-
typical Yang.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go half-cocked off on an adventure again. Oh boy!
and specifically doing this near but not directly in this incredibly well-considered, meticulous social engineering discussion support stuff, as you are basically off to the side yelling at Obsidian like, yeah, sure, cool, fine, sharpening knives and all. Who cares? Why don't we just fucking solve the problem? And,
They're not gonna use the knives. We could use the knives to fix it for them. They don't
And
need
yeah,
knives.
so-
They need the hero.
Nubu was about to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say something and then stop for a moment to think of
Yeah, sure.
I could do a roll for this
Oh, yeah, you can.
of escalating this argument with Yang of Yang, we are trying to do this by a certain standard. We're trying to do this in
We're having a cyclical argument about like you're a loose
Yeah.
cannon. No, I'm not. You're just a bad cop. You're a lazy cop. Well, yeah, at least I'm not a loose cannon. Yeah, well, at least a loose cannon gets results. Yeah, but the results are
This is
tainted because
gonna
it's
be
from a
more-
loose cannon.
and
Yang should insult Obsidian by saying that about how he's unmoving and uncompromising, like in the letters.
Or you're always so afraid of collateral or something like that.
It's just you're always trying to get everything, all your ducks in a row instead of just getting the job done.
By the time you have the ducks in a row, I'll have the knife in the duck. That is doing the thing. And then I just walk away frustrated, like, yeah, you get fucked. Yeah, okay.
And then as Yang is walking away, very loudly, Obsidian yelling at Yang, Yang, don't fuck this up! Don't do anything stupid! Eh.
It's a pretty convincing performance, at least from Obsidian's angle. It's one of those things where it is assisted by the fact that there is a lot of context between the two of you. It is not obviously an act, is what I'll put it as. It is clearly not Obsidian at full emotional intensity, but it is not obviously reading off of cute cards.
Can I also get a roll?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I'm going to use finesse performance.
All right, go ahead with the stunt.
Oh, there we go.
Hold on, let me get that one.
Yeah, okay, so
Obsidian stumbles over his lines a little bit, and then
no, what I'm gonna say is that with that pair of rolls, what comes across is that Obsidian is not completely taking Yang seriously. Like, everyone else is seeing Obsidian just kind of arguing to argue the point. It's just like, yeah, sure, we'll have this argument, but Yang will come around at the end of the, where are you going? Where are you going? As Yang is just getting more and more intense, it's just like, no, I'm gonna go fix it. I'm gonna fix it. I'm here to help. Just
Yeah.
to quote the first time you ever came to the swamp, I'm gonna help.
And then that's when Sybil comes out, and Obsidian would say to Sybil, audibly enough, but not very
Sybil
loudly,
wanders, like,
make sure he doesn't do anything stupid.
yeah, Guan is like, strategically placed to do some local selling nearby. Sybil comes up kind of like a bouncer to check in, like, hey, I don't know what's going on. Are you all right? And then there's to the exchange of just like, could you just make sure he doesn't do anything stupid? And that's that.
Immediately will go up to a point where I can get eyes on the estate that Delos lives in, so it looks like I'm brooding and planning a murder.
Alright. I'm gonna consider that earlier performance roll as part of that success. Give me a second while I consider how to do this.
I'm glad I made Yang into a drum kit.
Yes!
Same. Yang's really good.
Now, important question. Is this Yang in Yakuman disguise or Yang as Yang?
Probably Yang is Yang,
Yeah.
because that
'Cause-
would imply that he's vulnerable.
Yeah, and it's also not associating this with the Yakuman archetype. Like, this is Yang in a state of seeming vulnerability.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just had an idea.
Yeah.
Hang on, this is one of those moments where I'm just actually just kind of clasping my hands and just realizing what I just handed myself. Please hold while my brain catches up to my brain.
I've had moments like that.
Okay, So, you are scoping out Dalos's main house, just kind of brooding on a rooftop. Probably have the crossbow at your side, maybe aimed occasionally if not loaded, but mostly at your side, just kind of fiddling with the mechanisms, twirling an arrow, just sulking and scowling and kind of mean mugging the whole place and muttering to yourself and really just kind of playing it up like a ham. And then you hear a strange noise behind you.
I'm gonna play into it and exasperatedly say, okay, what the fuck is it, Sybil? And turn around.
Second. What you turn and see is not Sybil. What you see behind you is the inimitable, the unstoppable, the definitely one and only Yakuman.
Wait,
Halt! Evildoer!
this doesn't make any. Hold on. What?
Points a finger. Yonder fuckboy! You are
No,
planning to do
hold on.
something dangerous!
I point a finger back in the same Spider-Man pose, like, wait a minute, no, that's my line.
Your line it is, villain, but it is my line now as well. For you are planning to do something quite ill-advised, and I am here to stop you as Yakuman, protector of the 13 orphans.
I better be asleep. I'm gonna kick your ass. We'll figure this out.
You
after
can
that.
try, fuckboy!
I'm gonna. I'm gonna. I'm just gonna do jujitsu shit. I guess. Gonna run up and try to fucking grab the abdomen.
Alright, roll me a forced
Oh,
close
like-
combat.
Alright. I'm like half expecting this to just be like a dream and something will happen. And then, you know.
So, as you are going out for the torpedo, there is just a lunge out with one fist into the gut, and there is a leaning in through the mask. You can see a pair of silver and like silver glimmering eyes. Just go with it.
In a minute, I'm not an evildoer. I'm the good guy. This doesn't make any sense.
You may think that you are the good doer, but you have fallen into the trap of not realizing that you are actually fucking up quite badly.
What? I don't burn down towns for fun or kill people
Yes, you did!
in
I
public
can concretely prove that you did!
while I'm naked. That never happened. None of that happened.
Just picks you up by the cuffs and throws you over the shoulder.
Okay, so maybe there are some truths to the rumors that precede me, but the point is that you're a creature of my imagination, and I command you to stop. Does that work ever? That sounds like a thing Repose would say here.
Your mind control tricks will do no such avail upon me, villain!
Okay, you're real. Fine. Have at you. Just kind of start boxing.
There is just a lot of Goose style as you are fighting, and there is a vague imitation from Goose style, and every time that you are close to landing a serious, genuine hit, or you actually do land a serious hit, you feel the body underneath the Yakuman disguise just distort and absorb the hit. Like, all of a sudden, that's not a person under there. That is just kind of... It feels like an agglomeration of feather and, like, other just assorted bits just corporating out of the way. But he sells the hit like a fucking champion, just like... Confound your incredible ability to hit me in the vital points!
That's what I thought. That means the the good guys win or something. Get the fuck out of here.
Never! You will have to make me!
I'm gonna grab him by the wings and start doing the Bowser twirl.
Ah! What is this
Okay.
subtle sorcery?
Look, I'm having a moment. I'm not in the best place of mind. Honestly, I'm kind of like in a vulnerable spot. Just get the fuck out of here. All right, let me go brood. That's
Picturing
what
that
it's called.
entire line being delivered in real time from within like
This
whoosh
is
lines
spinning.
conveying that you're spinning at high speed.
Yeah, no, that entire sentence is the name of the move.
And it just just goes flying off the roof.
I have to workshop that one. Ugh, man, I'm just not in the game today. What happened to me?
So there is an uncomfortable, sudden, weighted silence of just like, what the fuck just happened? As very distantly you can just kind of hear from the large like pile of junk that was thrown into, just kind of a mumbling and discorporation, and you can see a abnormal amount of rats just kind of coming out of the pile and running away into the gutters and alleys of the city. One of them just kind of giving a look back with silver eyes before going back in.
Yang is gonna make a very dramatic teenagery sigh and then go find a new place to sulk.
So, yeah, probably goes a couple of roofs over before actually hearing behind you the voice that you expected. So I hear that you defeated my apprentice.
Old man? Oh.
She
what?
smiles. Before having the smile cleared off her face, as she... It is very visibly a clear, I'm so goddamn proud of you both moment before she realizes, wait, acting. And then just kind of takes on a more serious face. Seriously, Yang, what the fuck are you doing?
I am doing your job and my duty, and I'm doing the thing that will get the least people killed, except for one person who deserves to be killed.
Yang, what did I ever tell you about... Look, yeah, I get it. You're a weapon, you're a tool, you kill people. I know, that's how you cope. That's how you handle this.
Yeah.
What happens when you kill one person and somebody else picks up the sword?
Well, then, hope they're better, I guess. I don't know. Kill them?
Okay, you kill them. Somebody worse picks up the sword. You gonna just keep killing them?
Better than doing nothing.
At what point do you become worse than the people picking up the swords, Yang?
Well, how many swords have you picked up, huh?
She just puts her head in her hands, and you can see, because you have a close angle, she's hiding a smile, but she is making it look like she's frustrated.
I mean, yeah, we could all just sit here and watch this tumor grow, or we could go roll the dice.
Mm-hmm. And what happens
Well,
if you roll snake eyes?
All that shit down there, sharpening knives, and look, it's nice, it's fun, but we gotta do our jobs, right?
Who gave you that job?
Probably the Wood Dragon, I guess. Hey, no. None of that.
None of what?
That.
None of has fists around your throat.
Okay, you want to wrestle? Let's wrestle.
At this point, yeah, let me just... What else would I switch this... Oh, wait, hang on. I know exactly what I switched this over to. One of the lists of the things that happens when Sybil gets into combat. Hang on. They're longer than 3 minutes. Yes.
I think I'll sell this.
Yeah, so she just grabs you by the throat. Are you going to shut up and listen?
Nope, I'm gonna shut up and whatcha, roundhouse kick.
Just
Or
kicked
flash
in
kick,
the
probably.
chin as she slides back slightly on one foot and steps forward. Yang, you know what I can do. Don't make me do it.
Yeah, but you won't, because you think I'm cool. And
I won't because you know what happens if I do.
yeah, so that means I can just do this, and I'm gonna do, like, you know that MMA boxer thing? Like, there's a gif of some dude doing a spinning kick and then kicking someone in the head.
Yes.
I'm just gonna start doing some MMA shit. And
You-
like, oh boy, we're using actual goose style because of course there wouldn't be a martial art that's just based entirely on shitposting. This is the thing when two,
Yeah,
super
like,
professionals fight each other.
She takes the hit on the chin strongly, taking another step back. Yang, for fuck's sake, you know you can't beat me in a fight. I can... Look. And she, like, goes for you, but you just kind of do... Again, if you're bringing up MMA boxing gifts, you know the one that is just a guy Dark Souls fat rolling out of nowhere just to confuse the opponent?
Yeah, I do.
That's what ends up happening. It's just like, whoop! It's just...
Huh?
It somehow
We can do
makes an armor clattering sound.
I don't actually know how to roleplay this successfully, so this is probably just going to be two boxers, like, trying to no-sell. Like,
Yeah. Like, the
winding
combat...
up to do a violence and then pulling themselves out of it.
The combat part of it is that both of you are trying ridiculous shit that is more intense than it actually is damaging, as Sybil is basically playing at slowly losing her temper, not actually pulling out her real shit while you are daring her to. Yang, I can pull your arms out of their sockets. Sit down and listen before I show you that I
You're gonna not because you can't, because you have morals, because you waste time all the time. You're not gonna do it. You won't. All you do is sit down, watch. I fucking dare you.
She sets her jaw, cracks her knuckles, and leaning in slightly, both to look menacingly and also to lean in and give communication if there's somebody watching. This is going to be an actual hit, then I leave. Brace yourself.
Yeah, I figured this was coming. It's fine. Go for it.
There is just the briefest flash of the Dawncast on her forehead before she drapes her hair over it to cover it as she pulls her fist back. Can't say I didn't warn you. Wham! Yang can feel that, like, directly in the sternum, the center of your ribs collapse. As you don't just go flying off the roof, you go soaring off the roof. You are actively flying almost as fast as Old Man's cloud off the roof.
So this is what it feels like to be
there is just this moment as old man, as Repose and Milan are giving the lecture, where they look up and there is just this streaking figure across the sky, as they can recognize via hearth connection, oh, that's Yang, and can recognize, well, Yang's not dead. Yang's in a lot of pain. Yang's not dead. Because mechanically, this is not dealing damage. She converted all the potential damage of this hit into knockback. So you're going for a trip. So Yang does not actually stop at a building. Yang actually goes through a building. Yang goes through about 2 or 3 buildings.
This
Yang goes
keeps
over the city
happening.
walls. Yang goes over into the swamp. Yang keeps flying. Yang goes through the treetops of the swamp. Yang keeps going.
Can I skip a few times on the lake?
Oh yeah, no, like once you go down into the water level, you are skipping like a stone for a solid 200 yards.
Dope. If it didn't hurt tremendously, it'd probably be very fun.
As you take a breath in, as you are soaking in the water and laying there, just like, ow! Actually feel your ribs pop back into place as, for somehow, goose style, solars, who knows? That wasn't actually lastingly damaging. Like, you are certain that all of your shit got busted, but then it just kind of got redirected into you going flying.
That's boxing.
Yeah, to reiterate, old man could actually take that hit on the chin.
He's done it before.
We're all very impressed by your big copper dick.
I didn't say it live. I was doing it in the chat just on the side because I like to toot my own horn every now and again.
Toot his copper horn.
It's true.
Old man will toot as he pleases.
I do toot as I please.
Old man just makes bronze man noises every time he moves now, but they're slightly wrong. Out of tune bronze man noises.
God, that just reminds me of the flavor of the sorcery spell for Skin of the Earth, where you play like an Earth Anthem ever so slightly wrong, like shaving a haircut in Roger Rabbit, until the Earth Elementals get so mad that they finish it for you, and that turns you into a rock. That is one of my favorite sorcery write-up of how it works.
But it is worth noting, as has been discussed before, that Sybil actually is not a direct punch in combat solar. She is, in fact, a tough solar.
That was her
Heck,
just blowing the essence advantage of I can use an excellency for free.
Mhm.
And I can just do shit without spending much essence.
Yeah, I'm probably in the woods now.
Yeah, you are like a solid probably 3 miles outside of city limits. Like, you are somewhere in this square off to the left.
Am I in a nice patch of grass? Is it scenic?
You are in some marsh grass that is raised enough from the water that you are not drowning.
I am going to scoot up to drier land, unfurl a blanket, lay down, just light one up.
Okay, and I'll say at this point it's probably late afternoon. The sun is getting low in the sky, and there's a pretty long angle shadow from everything that the sun is casting on. So it's, probably like, not quite sunset, but it's enough that when you look behind you, like, your shadow is going another 15 or 20 feet. It's that low level of angle in the sky. And as you are beginning to smoke, you hear something that you can't quite put your finger on from the lengthened shadows around you of the cattails, of your own shadow, of just... It is less like a voice and more a pattern of absences in the swamp's ambient sound that sounds something like a human speaking. The absences form this shape of words that your brain fills in. And you don't quite understand them at first, because you know just enough to catch, oh, this is Old Realm, maybe? You don't know what kind. Like, this is weird. It kind of makes your ears itch a little bit, and you're not catching all of it.
Beep.
Gonna try and get swamp water out of my ears. Maybe there's something in there still.
Give me a finesse and awareness roll.
It's Yang's awareness. It's 5. Apparently, I have good dice tonight. Not bad.
You see something very odd at the tree line watching. It is a shape of some form that you can't quite resolve your eyes around. It is hard to describe. It is not at a direct angle. Like, okay, so I'm going to pull up a little map just purely for visual references. I don't actually have a token for what is going to be here, but just for positional referencing. I'm going to turn this down. So, if Yang is big chillin' right about here, and this is not to scale, and tree line is like around here, and sunlight is coming in low from top side. Right about here-ish is the shape. And so, like, shadows are being cast this way. It's very hard visually to describe what you are seeing. It is like you are seeing a sliced out part of something. Like somebody took a silhouette or like, somebody's or of a shape of something. It's vaguely arachnoid. It's vaguely.
I have an action I would like to take to get more information. I was going to take a drag and then flick my cigarette at it like a cool guy.
All right, that actually will get you considerably more information. It is vaguely arachnoid. It is vaguely. The longer you look at it, the less sense it makes from any sort of creationly body plan. And then you flick your burning cigarette at it, and the lighting that goes across it as the light draws closer and competes with the natural sunlight suddenly makes the effect across it shift violently. And for a moment, as the cigarette is very close to it before falling in the water, you can't see it at all. What you're realizing is that everything that would be cast in shadow of whatever this is, you can see. Anything the light is directly touching, you cannot. And you get the feeling watching it that it is less, oh, it's cloaked. It's no, like if the light is touching it, that part doesn't exist. Only the parts that are in shadow exist. There is literally like the undercarriage of, and the front side away from the sun of, and a leg or two, the sides that are not facing the sun, kind of holding themselves up impossibly. And all the rest that would be normally sunlit and easy to look at are just gone.
That's an interesting trick.
The figure at the wood line is shifting, especially once the cigarette is thrown at it. It kind of scuttles backwards, and you see that not only does it have kind of arachnoid visual limbs, it also has some form of tail. It has some form of tail that is assisting in propulsion that you see for about a half second before it goes back into being in sunlight again. Like, the more this thing moves, the more body parts you see that shouldn't be there. It is like everything about this is the sun is removing it from reality because no, that's not allowed. Get out.
I'm gonna start strafing around it to the shoreline.
As
Slowly.
you, yeah. Oops, sorry, I was moving on.
That's fine.
As you walk, you notice that. Yeah, I guess I don't know if that's the proper term. Inverted vertex culling sounds like it might be a thing. But yeah, texture errors with missing parts, that kind of thing, where it's not rendering anything that would be in sun. And as you are going, you recognize that extends to if you are like at about this angle where you can see behind it, where the sun would be directly striking and covering up parts that would be in shadow. Those parts in shadow are no longer visible. Where you would think you would see, so like I can see the front of the limb if it's there, and would I see the backside of it? No. That the backside of the limb is no longer there. It is you are no longer capable of seeing or possibly even interfering with that limb once the sunlight is the only thing that you can see on it.
Does it trigger any fight or flight reflexes?
It's triggering your this is extremely unnatural and wrong, and like it is less probably Yang's reaction would be less I want to kill it and more what the absolute fuck is this? Because you have never seen anything like this. You've never even had you have had a lot of shit happen to you over the past year. And you've had a lot of shit happen in your short life as well. This is unprecedented. No god you've ever heard of, no spirit you've ever heard. This is just what the fuck? Your best, like, give me a finesse sagacity.
Okay.
Well, you're thinking about, again, number one, what are we going to investigate? Number two, what has Repose talked about? Right. Sun hates demons. Sun really, really hates creatures of darkness and
There's
demons.
something I have to do internally to decide how Yang deals with this.
Okay.
Okay, scientist noted is Yang is going to pick up a stick. Very, very, very carefully walk over to it. Give it a sagacious poke.
The creature kind of, again, recoils backward away for a moment until it realizes that there is no harmful intent involved. At which point, you poke the part that you can see, and the stick makes contact. You pass the stick through where you are absolutely sure the rest of that leg should be, and the stick just goes through open air. And then you walk around to the point where the light no longer lets you see that leg, and you push it in from behind where the leg should be, and it goes through where you know physically that leg is. Like, the part of the leg that is rendered, for lack of a better word, you know it's there, but you're going through the back of the render, so the stick doesn't have a collision.
Well, this is just fucking weird.
It is about at this point that the creature, through a very awkward seeming set of shuffling and yeah, that's about what I was hoping for.
These are the mysteries.
Yeah, this is about what I was hoping for when I was having one of these show up. As you kind of see it contort and rotate in ways that don't really seem like they should be ways things can rotate, but the parts that you can't see are clearly up to some bullshit. You eventually get into a position where something that could be described charitably by someone drunk and missing their glasses as maybe a face is visible. It is something approximating a spider mixed with a reptilian snout, and each of the 8 eyes is reptilian as it is looking at you.
I'm gonna wave. Hello.
Head tilts.
You wanna
And
be friends?
there's again that period of silences in the shape of words, in the shape of Old Realm, as your brain is racking, and it observes you kind of visibly having a reaction of ugh. It stops, pauses, considers a moment. Language? Communication.
Yes, talking words.
Universal. And there's just a tap of the one leg on the ground. Yes, yes, yes. Found channel. Found voice. Found word. You are leaf piece. Yes,
I'm Leaf Piece. Nailed it.
leaf piece. Yes, yes, yes. Leaf piece involved with circle pieces. Involved with link of sister grandchildren pieces. Yes?
I'm in a hearth. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Correct piece. Correct piece. Found piece.
What's your name?
Slow, uncomprehending blink from the 8 eyes in sequence.
What's your favorite thing?
Favorite thing?
What do you like the most?
I like not hurting. Noise and not hurting.
Okay, your name is now Not Hurting. Let's go, Not Hurting.
Go where? No. I message. Yes, message delivery. Observe.
You're not here for
find
the adventure?
Adventure?
Yeah, we go on an adventure.
What? What?
Yeah, no, you're not supposed to give the demon something it's out of context for it.
I'm adopting this demon. It's not going to go bad.
Yep. Oh, he's going to shatter this demon's findings.
See, even if we weren't doing the ruse, Yang would still do this, making
Yeah.
it the perfect ruse.
Yang is just kind of. I would say Yang is probably like halfway forgotten what's going on.
He's completely forgotten what he was doing. And he's just fascinated by this adorable metaphysical lizard.
Strange, unspidered lizard. Friend? Squatch?
Squatch detected.
Okay, what's the message, little guy?
Yes, binder. Green Sun Prince. Gave important mission. Very proud trust. Yes. Leaf piece to speak with Green Sun Prince. Yes. Speak with at.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
Piece minus piece. Meat shape. Word? Name?
Piece minus piece, meet shape, word name. Piece minus piece, name. Piece minus piece, meet shape.
Points to you. Piece. Roof piece. Gestures at your silhouette. Meat shape. What is word name? What is meat shape? It is gesticulating at you.
My name Yang.
Me, I'm a Yang.
Roll me finesse sagacity to understand what it is trying to get across.
Oh wait, hold on. That's a different determined science approach. Here we go.
It's trying to ask what the word for human is. It is asking, okay, what's a dragon blood that doesn't have the elements in it? I don't remember what that is.
It's immortal.
Mortal! Yes! Pieces without pieces. Sun princes without sun. Yes.
You want me to find a mortal for you? Or do you want me to meet a mortal? Or do you want to be a
No. Mortal hive? Mortal pile. Mortal pile? Nearby.
Yes, the Mortaltorium. Yes, I can teach you one. I can take you to the Mortaltorium. Come on, let's go.
No, you go. You speak with Green Sun Prince. You go to Big Pile in Human Pile, and you speak. He wants... There's a pause as it is trying to process the idea. Is contract assistance is offered.
For help?
Yes.
Well, unlikely allies, I suppose. Do I know where he wants me to meet him, or is the little lizard boy still?
He said, from the role you got, you guess that he means probably Delos' house by, like, you know, the big human pile, and the big human pile is probably the biggest building in the biggest city.
Yeah.
The minuscule pillar of human eggs.
Well, I don't know if you need to go relay information, but you can tell my binder. Is that what you said?
Yes.
You can go tell binder I've got the message and I will be along shortly.
It very pleasingly kind of... Wait, where did it get... It has, like, now lizard-like hands at the end of small arms that it is now very pleasedly grooming its mandibles with. Yes, job done. Yes. Question. Inquiry. Yes.
Shoot.
It appears, like, the face shifts, and you realize that as it is moving and things are popping in and out of sight, that it is, and as you are following its gaze and it is getting frustrated, it is trying to point with you. It is trying to point with something you can't see. And the general just eventually gets very frustrated and then just carves an arrow in the ground in the same angle of the shadow, and it is pointing towards the sun. Why yellow?
Oh my god, you
Oh
are
my God.
adorable. Oh god, you're the cutest little. I sit down and answer this motherfucker's inquiries as long as he gives them to me. I don't care how long I am
Okay,
satisfying this little bastard's curiosity. It will be forever. I will die doing
Alright,
this. if
this
I
is
need
actually
to.
very important how and why you answer this question. Why is it yellow?
I'm going to give this cute little bastard the religious theory for why it is yellow and the natural theory of why it is yellow, which is
Just
to
pass
say
along some
white.
theology about this question. About
Yeah, just gonna be like, well, no one can really answer that for sure, but there's some nuance I can instruct you on, and I'll distill it down
There is a
as
brief
simply as possible.
there's a brief moment of confusion as your explanation kind of washes off it visibly. Perhaps better when stop being green.
When the sun stopped being green?
Finesse sagacity.
Is he asking when the thing in the sky?
He's asking, hey, why isn't the sun green?
Huh.
And finesse sagacity for Yang to remember enough from the lessons to answer this. Oh no, this little guy still thinks he's in Malpheus.
Oh.
He doesn't even know that he's been bound into creation.
Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. You're not an oh, little guy. Oh, little guy.
There's a look of deep confusion of just, what?
Oh, you're a long way from home. Do you need help getting back?
Oh?
It's not
It's
green
much
because
nicer up here. You'll be fine.
it's not green because you're not where you usually are.
When did I leave?
Oh.
I am here. I am here. Sun overhead. Sun hurdy. Sun make pit. Yeah, see? Sun gesticulates at the parts that are not visible. Sun cause pain. Sun is normal.
Yeah, no, if you look at the sun, it hurts. I know. Don't do that, cutie. But still, like, oh gosh, get you a little hat. I know someone who could fix this for you. You want to come along? I know a priest who would maybe know what to do with you.
Would. Alright, so at this point, roll me a force performance roll to override the binding on this demon, because you have basically worked your way socially through the binding arguments that your friend gave it, and see if you could just kind of slip in as just like, yeah, no, I'm totally going on his advice. You can trust me.
Is there any way other members of the Hearth can hand a stunt die over to Yang for this? I think we
Yes,
all
you
equally
can,
want
actually.
this
If you
poor
have-
thing to live.
If I have given you a stunt dice that you have banked, you can give it to other players. And I'm going to just go ahead and say, yeah, go ahead and have a stunt on this if nobody else has that.
Alright, let's roll one more.
2 more.
Alright. Oh yeah, it's by twos. I forgot.
Okay, so
Just a little
4,
guy.
5, 6, 7. Yep, you break the binding. So, not break, actually. It is you have worked yourself in as co-equal binder to your friend, to this demon. You are now equally as an authoritative figure as the Green Sun Prince. So, it's just like, oh yeah, you're working on the boss's authority. Sure, okay, yeah, I'll go with you.
I open my backpack and give it a little pouch to write in.
It actually looks kind of suspiciously at the pouch.
No? Just want to run? That's fine.
Pouch have noise? Pouch have noise? Yes, no?
I don't think pouch has noise, no.
No pouch, no pouch, no pouch.
You want noise? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Alright, you should stay outside then. There's more noise out here. Come on, let's go.
Yes, yes.
Go look at the noises.
At any time in Malpheus, if there is no noise, that means that anyone who is there is about to die, as Adorian the Silent
Horribly.
Wind is about to kill everyone involved.
Yes.
If anyone from the hearth sees me, I'm going to be walking this thing with a leash at some point.
Does Yang walk a demon into town visibly?
Are you okay? Are you going to the boat or are you going to town?
I'm going to the boat.
Okay. So,
Oh boy.
would
Everyone
you use
else
wind
is in
carried words to
town.
warn anyone?
I would warn Repose and Obsidian. Are Angler's family on the boat still?
No,
No.
they're often the Jade Orchid
And
Prefecture.
not even going to make Angler have to deal with this then.
So yeah, Repose and Obsidian.
And
What is the
not the
message?
team's demonologist.
Who do you think Repose is?
I mean, Milan has been studying demons.
Okay.
You have
Milan-
summoned
Milan-
Milan has been
demons,
reading
yes.
the specific demons. Milan will be
Alright.
immediately cued in as let's collaborate on a
I want
So
you
I
to
made
know.
it, so I
on
got
a
a pet.
sagacity roll.
I want you to know I was in the other room petting my cat and then listening to this on my phone and then got to the line of I'm bringing a demon back to the boat and immediately had to
Scramble back.
put cat down gently.
Had to yeet Minmo way across the room and rush on my way
At top
in.
speed, like Sybil throwing Yang.
Don't worry, Minmo's fine.
I was trying to get a picture of Minmo, but he gets
Gary,
very
I found a
squirrely.
cat in the swamp.
So sends the wind carry words of I'm bringing a demon back to the boat. You doing what?
Hey, hey.
All right, so
Obsidian can't answer.
collaboration. Here.
I know, it's just out loud. I can't answer. That doesn't mean I
Suppose-
can't not react. Uh-oh, goodbye, Angler.
Yeah, I'm having the people who would be on the boat here first.
Oh, okay.
Propose very sharply delivers every detail that Yang remembers to send over the wind, and plausible interpretations of the details Yang has said over the wind to try and alright, we need to identify a thing now.
Yeah,
Get the books!
Get the books, because, yeah, this
All
is out
the
of character
books
the point
now.
where I reveal, I made this demon up. There is no canon description of what this is. Only I know what's going on.
Oh, right. And that's a 7
Plausible.
on a finesse sagacity.
I don't know what I was expecting when we sent Yang off on his own to do something, but
To
That's
go
the dog.
interfere with the manipulative infernal.
you know, I didn't think the Yang eating demon would eat my face.
Okay,
Alright,
that's
what do we know
a
about this particular squad?
yeah.
So, yeah, as probably Obsidian is has barreled onto the boat by virtue of hearing it, has probably dragged Milan at this point. Yang has not quite arrived yet as this as Think Dome is occurring.
Milan is pouring through the slates.
So, first thing is the mention of, I mean, it was kind of like a spider, but not. Kind of like a lizard, but not.
Obsidian scrambles onto the deck, yells at the crew, "Mortals under under the deck."
And everybody's just like, yep, okay, not questioning it, bye. We know
Old man's
better.
Old man's gonna look at his arms and think about like,
The reports of, alright, so it's like a spider. Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
Yeah,
well, it's
that's-
also
that
a
is the
lizard.
first thing is that you-
That's even more
Milan
plausible
puts
things.
exactly
3 of the plates away. Okay, that narrows it down slightly.
Does it
There's
have
the
any
entire
magic
plate.
qualities?
There's the entire plate collection for the Anahul, which are we don't know what this demon is, but it kind of looks like a spider and it kind of acts like a spider, so we're going
There
to
is a
call it this
spider
name.
demon growth form that
Yeah.
is every
Every
Yozi
s-
contains spiders. They all
Yep.
invent spiders that are slightly different.
That is one of my favorite jokes in the demon book, is that it said no one has a monopoly on spider demons. Everyone just makes them, so everyone has given up on trying to differentiate the classification, and we're just calling them the Anahul.
There are no less
Okay.
than 2 times that Yang has to be reminded that being a cutie is not a helpful demon denotification.
Uh,
Is cute, that can narrow it down, that also may make it worrying. Kind of like a lizard,
Milan,
okay.
Milan takes a plate and adds it back into the pile.
Old man's
Because-
gonna request. Can someone ask if this demon has any sort of badger qualities? I know about those ones.
I mean, you
Okay,
might have,
so
you might have
exactly-
seen claws?
Exactly what happens here is we relay. Yang says it's cute. Milan takes a plate out of the pile. Okay, but if this is Yang, Milan puts the plate back into the pile.
Yeah. Okay, did he say anything that it did?
It didn't really do much but talk. Did you mention the whole light touching it thing?
Yeah.
So that narrows it down a lot. That is almost certainly a manifestation of some form of the Ebon Dragon's lower circle demons. And they all... Well, there are 2 general rules for Ebon Dragon demons. They are either complete assholes, or
Tiny and shitty.
tiny, shitty little gerblins that are mostly kind of defined by they're there and they're opposite of something. They're there to express some facet of the Ebon Dragon that may be him being a huge piece of shit, but it also may be just him being a fucking shitty little gerblin, man, scaled way too big.
Alright, so what we do, we set up a tent on the deck somewhere that we can. If necessary, very quickly, just woof the whole thing out of the way and have the entire space the tent was in fully in sunlight.
So, the closest thing that you would guess is by the response that it gave to Yang. If this is a hostile or manipulative form of the Ebon Dragon, it is currently in a situation where it is easily manipulated itself. Like, the worst case scenario that Repose could come up with is that this is some sort of trap demon, but Yang outsmarted it. Because it is unlikely that there is some sort of back and forth thing of, oh no, it's just pretending to be harmless and cute and then it's gonna bite your face off, but it actually let Yang approach enough to very easily kill it, because if there is one very consistent through threat for anything related to the Ebon Dragon, all cowards. All immense cowards. If that demon was convinced that there was the threat of death, it would have fucking ran. So it is quite possible that this is just a random fucking chunk of demon that could be trusted to do exactly what you tell it and nothing else. And everything else is unknown, but incidental to whatever your friend wanted out of it. That is all you can get before personal examination. At this point, Yang begins to walk up through the swamp, and Moat immediately just jumps on the railing and just starts yowling as in a giant puff of fur at the vague shape that you can see, which immediately scuttles behind Yang in immediate alarm and fright.
Oh, little buddy, don't worry. It's just a cat.
Loud noise? Loud noise?
yeah,
Threat noise. Threat.
Per suggestion, I feel like we have a tent set up on the shore
Yeah.
to usher this thing into.
Yeah.
Yeah, drag it along by the leash. Put it in the examination table.
So, yeah. The second that you bring it in and you shut off access to light, the shape of it becomes fully into view and fully rendered, and god damn, it's weird. It's the effective equivalent of watching a hypercube rotate through three-dimensional space, where it is like, okay, hang on, that's clearly not all of what this is. Except it's body parts, and it's the shape of the being. And now it's a quadruped, now it's arachnoid, now it's bipedal, now it's got 5 tails, now it's a spider.
Pets at once.
It is just a constant protean shifting mass of is a griblin. Is some form of incoherent gerblin.
What's its average size that it's maintaining as it's kind of operating over there?
About thigh to hip height.
So large dog size.
Yeah.
Ranging from small dog size to large dog size.
Yeah. It does compress and expand on occasion. But it is very much once the tent is shut, and there is still snarling and howling and yowling from out outside. But now the threat noises are outside where I can't see them, and now it's dark and it's pleasant, and now that's just good noises. That's the noises that keep the silence away. That's nice, that's fine. It just kind of immediately goes back from frightened threat to laying down on the table, which becomes standing on the table, which leads to kind of oozing over the table for a second, and then kind of shifting back, and then it is roughly in one spot on the table. And
he's
kind of curiously
petting
watching. Your hand, it is a combination of you trying to pet it and just simply trying to keep a hand on it moves your hand around enough that it feels like you're petting it. Just kind of constantly having your hand adjust to the new spot and texture.
Ooh, hard mode. Oh.
I also did a quick force or finesse, it doesn't matter. Sorry, fortitude or finesse sagacity there to identify what kind of demon this would be.
Insights
At 8
into this
successes.
beast.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that the Yozi, the Ebon Dragon, runs on, to give again general rundown of the Yozi is of the Ebon Dragon, the shadow of all things, opposition,
Yes.
undermining, lies, deceit, cowardice, but primarily is not would be the two. If you had to pick two single words for the Ebon Dragon, it is not. This demon is not any one animal. It is not anything you can classify. It is not something that you are able to pin down as any given thing. It is
Cryptid,
aggressively
unbound.
and constantly evading any and all attempts to classify it as anything but whatever that is.
It is not dog
And
shaped.
yet, the entire paradox of this is that by doing so, they are
It is
defined
self-defined.
anyway.
It is,
Yes.
by virtue of being everything that is not blank, it is now a single shape because there is only one spot that can be.
By trying to avoid everything else at once, it puts itself in a cage and ends up in a specific place.
That
Yes.
is, yeah, which is a very common thread for Ebon Dragon First Circle Demons, is pinning
It's also a
themselves
very
into
common
definition.
thread with himself
Yes.
at the same time. He just
Yeah,
that is
much
why
like-
he will always be doomed to fail, always.
Yeah, that is much like all demons are a reflection or an echo of some part of their creator. This little guy is basically a reflection in his own way, their own way, of one of the Ebon Dragon's most critical and permanent flaws is, I'm not that, I'm not that, I'm not that, I'm not... Wait, oh no. Oh, there's nowhere else to go. Oh, fuck.
All folklore is defined by the question of what if there was a little guy, and there are two different kinds of little guys. There's either little guys on their birthday and little guys not on their birthday. The question is whether or not it is currently this little guy's birthday.
It refuses
And
the
I think-
question.
It kind of sounds to me like it is, so he's fine.
But yeah, the creature of undeterminate name beyond not hurdy, as, you know, Yang has called it for now, is this kind of Repose is not used to a demon looking at Repose with anything but absolute, complete, existential, void the bowels terror. Either the demon is unaware of what Repose is and what Repose can do, or doesn't really care. It is just kind of looking at him with... And this is something that is kind of irritating in its own way. It is kind of regarding not unlike a cat in just that curious, detached way of, who are you? What is that? Kind of looks over to Yang. Leaf piece is... leaf piece, other piece? Other piece, circle piece, yes? This one?
Yeah, circle piece.
Yes, kind of squints all of its eyes at once. Is rock piece? Rock piece. Looks like rock piece.
Some call that.
Why not?
Well, you call them that.
They said some call them that, not don't call them that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, okay.
That, allowing like a gap for some moat howling to be
Yeah.
throughout the room, is the sound of my knives.
Oh, you did say you would take me home. It says, turning to look at Yang.
Yeah.
Knives. Home. Yes.
Uh-huh.
How many knives will be today? It says, looking at Repose.
For now, my knives remain out there.
It looks absolutely confused by this notion.
They will remain out there so long as you are helpful.
I think
Yes.
they want to go back home.
Helpful, yes. How help? How help?
First, wait.
I don't believe it actually wants to go back home.
Going to take Yang aside, and we can engage in this conversation.
It'll just sit in the... you can immediately upon reading it, yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. It is literally not going to do anything.
Yeah, we have given it a tiny safe harbor against the pain orb.
I just think that there is a moment of, I think Yang and Repose and Old Man have to talk to about demonology to Yang again for like the 8th time.
Well, there's a lot to
guy.
specific topic is actually.
Oh no,
not
it's not.
It's
Yeah. It's not a problem, all things considered. I highly doubt that you would want to go back home to Malpheus. It just doesn't understand that it doesn't have to, or doesn't really understand that this is not Malpheus yet.
What do you mean yet?
Oh, if you like, it'll probably understand eventually.
Oh, I thought it was going to turn into Malpheus if we wait long enough.
No, not one of
No.
that size. No.
If it was one of the big boys, one of the really dangerous ones, maybe. But if that was the case, we'd have a lot more problems.
That is more the sort of thing that has befallen. Don't.
So we're gonna ice.
What you have found
baby?
here, comparatively harmless for now.
It's not like this is the Old Man's gonna show off, the scars that are still on his arms from earlier, during Old Man's big day out when he got lost on the Isle. There are every now and again just random small unimportant demons that make their way out, either through summoning rituals that go wrong or just sheer coincidence. And regardless of what happened with this one, because Old Man doesn't know the story of him getting summoned or anything like that. This is completely new. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure that doesn't actually want to leave either. You see, the secret is that Malpheus really sucks.
Milan's gonna stick his head into the tent. Hi there.
Hello, Nosepiece.
He got you good. Damn.
How's
Who
it
knows?
going?
Is noise, is dark, is pleasant.
Cool. Are you bound?
Yes, Green Sun Prince.
I see. Have a good
Oh, yeah.
day.
Yeah, by the way, it's
Yeah, this works for your friend.
well, I figured that.
Anyway, this if we are first setting aside your concerns, which you've evidently adopted, being as you are, kind of begrudgingly giving Kang a bit of a pat on the head that, yeah, this is my friendly brother who befriends everything.
Did it again,
This is a
dumbass.
situation in which want is a difficult word to appraise. Consider it, Yang, for a moment, that if, say, your hand were removed from your body but allowed to remain alive, it would continue to exist as a hand doing hand things. It would presumably be waiting for impulses of essence along the meridians to tell it when to grip and when to release and so forth.
You remember when my big toe turned into a bird and stuck around and did not make it part of my body again?
And then I turned it into an artifact.
Yes.
That was fun. We should do that more often.
It was pretty funny. It's a shame that I wasn't there to see it.
Oh, you had to be there.
If I were to strike an appropriate balance of clarity and brevity, an apt enough, for now, description of of the Inferno. He has like some more formal, not saying Yozi word to say Yozi.
Mm-hmm.
They are beings of such scale that to remove the smallest bits of them would leave things that can at times appear similar in size to mortals, similar in complexity, but often of wildly strange and different nature. It is a fundamental error that a poor magician makes to assume that their own perspectives reflect those of whole other classes of being. If I wouldn't want to return, you mean, what does it prefer? Being here in the world, in this world, to being back in its place of origin? It might not be capable of appraising a preference in its state of environment.
Yeah.
While this is going on, Milan has stuck his head back in and is asking more questions at the demon.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you talk to the Green Sun Prince often? Do you communicate?
Green Sun Prince gave orders. I found me, made agreement, made me go find Leaf Piece, give Leaf Piece message that Prince wants to speak.
Okay, are you speaking to Green Sun Prince right now?
No?
Ooh, okay, cool. We don't have. This is all internal. Good.
Obsidian walks up to the demon, points at an old man, and say, "What does he look like?"
We can't just do this every time.
Old man actually just kind of looks at the demon. Kind of looks at old man. Looks it over at Yang. Piece without piece, mute shape name. Human. Yes, is human. Is mortal. Yes.
Is he?
Look closer.
Is shape. Has and with very visible conscious effort extrudes two arms vaguely. Has these. Extrudes 2 feet out of the hands. Has these.
Uh-huh.
Has orb on top of trunk. Has legs.
I would point. I would point at myself and say, "I'm people shaped.
Yes.
Am I human?"
You have peace. Human with peace. Yes.
Does he have peace?
Fire peace? Looks over at old man.
Huh?
The demon has gone silent and is now like staring incredibly intently at old man and is kind of vibrating a bit.
Listen, we can't keep just wondering about what other people think of me at this point.
It's really interesting, though. It's fascinating.
I know it's weird, but
Is
What
is
does
is
he
this is shape inside shape? Is shape that keep shape but shape but shape but shape? And then like is like the feet that are now outside of the hands that are kind of going into the body before it extrudes start cropping little fractal feet off of the toes that crop fractal toes that crop fractal toes. It's just that's shapes and shapes and shapes and shapes.
Close the tent.
You could hear muffled from inside in shapes and shapes and shapes and shapes.
Subject Soul is not exactly what I was expecting to have, but you know what? That's fine with me too.
Yang, our friend wants to talk to you.
Yeah, I was gonna. So we're gonna ambush him, right?
One clears throat, and I'm going to make a performance. What do you think, Darren? Roll to give the impression that Milan is forbidding Yang from doing this, but is from to give the in case our friend asks little guy here questions. We give the impression that we aren't planning on an ambush.
Finesse, and I'll say with a stun.
Just kind of give a look over to Obsidian. Just a war boss, tackle man, right? We're doing it. Are we ready for ambush? We good? Flow of the battle, huh?
Well, first
The
things
smell of the
first.
game?
When do we do the thing?
First things first,
so.
as one of the most important things about war is information. Hey, Yang, this thing's like waves hands around, doesn't understand exactly how this works, is bound to you, does what you ask it now.
I don't know. I just kind of befriended it vaguely.
Looks at Repose, who knows more about demons.
What are
If
you
it's a
getting
full
at?
binding,
if it was-
then it is at I can call for the orders it is given. So
And if it was ordered to find you and speak with you, and it would be a matter of the language through which it has been compelled to act, particularly for one of its aspect and alignment.
given that it's clearly
Words hold
quite
incredible
weak,
power over liars.
and given that it's quite weak, it almost certainly would not disobey exactly, or at least
Wouldn't
not in
disobey unless it was following another order. What if Yang just told it not to give any information about us to Green?
Well, I mean, he wants me to come meet with him, so
That would if Green
Okay, more clarification. Anything that has happened on the boat.
But we've kept it off of the boat.
Oh, okay.
We
and
brought it into
Anything that's anything
In,
sensitive here.
in the vicinity of the boat. As
And,
soon as it has seen the boat, it can't relay any information.
like, all right,
and,
so, once we feel like we're done with this, yeah, like we're going to make a show out of rebuking this thing and throwing it out and chasing it off, so we can honestly say, they don't like me.
yeah, that's what that 8 I rolled was to
Yeah, that'll
the
do it for
performance
you.
of the rebuking of no, don't meet with our enemy. What are you doing, Yang? All the while patting on the back, giving a thumbs up because the demon can't see us through the tent.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll basically just rope the demon in on the confidence trick that we're doing now, I guess.
I guess the point I'm getting at is if information is so important, and that's what this demon is mainly here for, can't Yang give it orders in order to give non-information or misinformation?
The only
If-
problem I see with that is it saying that Yang gave it those
Yeah,
orders.
that's the problem.
They are co-equal binders, so it is less I can overrule you and more follow both of these instructions. And what happens if there is a contradiction or a direct compromise of orders? Unclear. And from Milan's brief study of demonology and Rapose's general understanding, probably wouldn't go well. It
Yeah,
would be
I'll probably lose that
unpredictable.
fight.
It might go in your favor, but it would be very unpredictable.
I see. Okay, never mind that.
On certain levels, the questions involved here are not entirely dissimilar from any matter to do with regulating the behavior of beasts, which you're already reasonably adept in. How you've spent more time around our guest than any of it. What's your read on it?
I feel like this is a thing he summoned in a pretty quick, unplanned thing once he saw what he thought was an opening.
Be able to do a quick, unplanned summoning would be very impressive.
And he is green, so
Has the visitor given any impression that they like the summoner? That they show any favor beyond deference to authority?
no, not really. Just said Binder go do this, so I'm gonna go do it.
Has it shown any sign of liking you?
I mean, it followed me. I imagine this thing was supposed to discorporate the second it it's probably gonna lead me to Binder.
What is, if I'm having a bit of a brain fart, what would the empathy equivalent be for your skill set?
Integrity has the has that in its
Yeah.
scope?
Roll one of your attributes plus integrity.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So
And Milan can as well because Milan has been interacting with it for a little bit.
Okay, and you said it was integrity?
Yes.
it's just a demon. It's probably not gonna imprint on me that hard, I imagine.
So, this is something that, with prodding, Yang would probably bring up, and something that would be noticed by Milan is the first thing you did was give it pleasant and non-harmful conditions for it to exist in, and then, upon it expecting to be hurt, be told, no, not right now. Now, whether or not that's going to predispose the demon to liking you, or just being very confused at this sudden show of niceness that clearly is forestalling some sort of immense, horrible betrayal, unclear. But it is certainly a lot more of an impression than probably being bound, told to do something, and then thrown out a door.
We found a stray cat and gave it some food.
If you can frame your offer or request as an opportunity for it to win your favor through an act of dissent and subversion against another, particularly if you prompt it to arrive at that conclusion without saying directly that this is something you wish it to do.
Oh my god, Yang has a little gremlin.
Still gremlin.
God, I don't know
These
how
are
If you
These
don't
are
know how to do it in
behaviors
role-playing, that could be just
typical
something
of
weird.
such a
to
being.
do dice. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
we can dice it out if you don't want to play it out. But all right, so that's the That's the hook that I'm offering up here. Of all right, so how you engage with this thing in a space that it understands.
We're both goblins. We're both little guys.
You need to be like, oh, I sure hope nobody cool and handsome and effective does a trick.
Yeah, probably you would go in, make some more small talk, and then have a situation where it would be just like, oh man, this prince guy sounds pretty cool. I really hope that, but he's also
So
kind of
big
dick.
and muscly and handsome, but you know what? He's super rude.
We're
He's
gonna
never
tell him
good to his
parables
employees.
about
like-
I don't know, about tricksters. I'm gonna tell him parables about tricksters and how cool tricksters are and how cool it is to be a trickster.
Okay, question you can say yes or no to.
You're
Are
turning
you
the baby into the Joker.
Question that you can say yes or no to. Are you invoking Yakuman when you are telling these trickster stories?
Yeah, fuck it, why not? That seems narratively funny enough.
Noting that down.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell Demon about the Yakuman. I know what I'm doing.
Are we going to introduce Yakuman into Malpheus?
I know what I'm doing.
Go ahead and roll a finesse performance roll with the 2-die stunt and a free full excellency. Don't worry about it.
This is an astronomically bad idea.
It's fine.
This is an astronomically bad idea.
It's fine. So basically, what you get across is the idea of, you know what's really cool? Messing with people. I mean, like just kind of a little bit, just a little bit of goofing. Like that's how, that's how your boss got my attention. Is I was kind of goofing around and I kind of rustled up a little one of them, and maybe you could something like just kind of tweak some stuff. Maybe just kind of give him a little zazz, give him a little
Jazz it up a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of embellish a couple of things. Maybe say a couple of things a little silly to say if he's noticing. Like just kind of. I mean, yeah, he's your boss, but like,
Not your
that doesn't mean-
boss.
that doesn't mean you can't mess with him a little bit. I mean, what are you?
You've already
Like,
done what he told
He
you.
summoned you. That means he likes you, you
The
know?
prince needs a jester.
Prince
Yes!
needs a jester.
Yes. So that is the logic that absolutely clicks and says yes, 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 yes.
Remember that
Yes.
But if
summoning
you-
a demon
you don't
used to
tell
be as
him.
boring as mom or apple pie. They finally jazzed it up.
I have been putting the legwork in every time demons show up to make demons as interesting as they should fucking be.
If you warn the prince as to who the jester is, that ruins the joke. The joke is a surprise. It's a secret.
Huh? Yeah,
It's a
otherwise it's not
ruse.
funny.
Yeah, joke ending surprise point. Yes, yes, yes. Joke ending told in advance, not funny. Joke ending at end is funny. Yes,
You're good
yes,
at this. You pick up fast.
yes, 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 yes. It is now rubbing together a considerably unnerving number of mandibles and. Oh god, the mandibles have hands now. Don't look too close. Don't. That's
and toes and toes and toes and
Hmm,
toes.
that's a little yeah. But it stabilizes enough. Yes, yes, I did. Yes. We'll go back.
Welcome to the orbit of the team, Leghorse.
Not her, dude.
You have absolutely described a like horse when you describe this thing. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes, I will go back. I will do thing, and you will visit Prince, and there will be jokes. Yes, there will be laughter.
That's gonna be great.
Yes, yes. I look forward to punchline. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, me too, buddy. Woo!
Yes. I go.
Yes, you go. Bye. Have a safe trip.
There is a pause as it goes towards the tent, and kind of looks up as it sticks a leg out into the sunlight, and it vanishes from sight again. And there's a pause. Is hanging plant skin shape cover head movement portable carry?
What the fuck are you asking me?
It wants
It's
the
asking if they
tent.
can keep the tent.
Yeah.
Is it a mobile tent?
Can I give him a big hat?
Yes, yes, I will absolutely let you have a big fucking goofy hat to put on him.
Here you go, buddy.
Ah, big hat demon.
It is just an enormous goddamn straw sun hat that is big enough to hang over the entire body, and it is sort of resting on the head, sometimes resting on the back, on a hump that shows up. It is resting on a spot to cover it with enough shade from any direction. It just kind of makes it look like a big kind of like a way too tiny child wearing a way too big hat, so you don't see the kid anymore.
Oh, it's adorable.
That's gonna cause panic in town.
It's gonna be funny.
Yes, 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 yes. Plant skin shape. Hi, sun. Sun feeling nice today. Sun distracted at a forge. Yes. Sun making mini swords. Sun planning revenge. Sun yelling at brass dancer. Sun yelling at brass dancer. I go. We see each other. Goodbye. And it just kind of scuttles off into the swamp.
Grab Rose's shoulder. What did it just say?
Propose will just kind of give a look back like, what, have you not been reading your books? Which books do you have? I should check your books.
That was more of not what did it say. It's did it just say what I think it just said?
It's very confused
Which
that
part?
it's not in Malpheus. Yes, we know this.
It doesn't know that this is creation.
Oh, okay. I misinterpreted what it said as
The
as a
the reason why he claimed, oh, too busy making swords today, is because one of the aspects of Malpheus
The part that is
the
the green
best
sun.
blacksmith of all time. And
Okay,
yeah,
so
Yeah.
what
Specifically, the part that is the green sun is the greatest blacksmith that can ever exist.
what I
Yes.
misinterpreted was green sun being Green Sun Prince and not the actual Green Sun. I thought he was talking
No.
about
Yeah,
Alaska.
it basically was just like, oh wow, the sun is feeling very merciful today. If a hat is making me not cook alive, guess he's busy making weapons and
Okay.
yelling at the brass dancer.
I thought he was saying that our friend was planning
Nah,
making weapons. Okay.
just Lightyear things.
Disregard Milan's actions there.
Anyway, it's time for that tent to be taken down and folded up and executed.
Burned, probably.
And
Yeah.
burned.
Moat will be allowed to like scream at it, and piss on
Moat-
it, and otherwise
Moat
be
pisses
unpleasant
on
to
the
it.
ashes. Like, I was going to say that if you didn't, Note pisses on the ashes as it is burning.
Good cat.
Good cat.
Very much extends claws to sharpen claws and rips the thing apart before you light it.
Well, that's going to be funny.
Certainly
Yeah.
is.
Knocks on the top of the deck to tell the crew that it's all right to come up.
The false alarm to begin with. They would have been fine.
They would have been fine. The only thing I had to go off of was Yang was bringing a demon.
I didn't lie.
Also, looks at you square in the face. What do I know about demons?
About as much as you do about. Oh no, I was about to own you, but you don't deserve that, buddy. You know a lot about war.
The most I know about demons is don't.
For what it's
That's all
worth,
you need to
you're
know.
most of the way there already.
Yeah. What's our next scene?
I feel like what this is leading into would take more time than I would be comfortable running into. This would be like something that would
Yeah,
probably
this
run
feels
another
like a
hour or
wind
so.
down to next time the
Next
joke.
time-
The joke.
Next time is the
lands.
punchline, yes. And for future reference, it didn't come up in game, but I have actually named this kind of demon in my notes as the Giagixa. Giagixa.
Next time. Joke. Yes. Tapping.